Hello, and welcome to our deep dive into the engine room of modern artificial intelligence. Today, we are exploring generative models. Whilst traditional AI has long been used to categorize data, think of your email filter identifying spam. Generative models are a different breed entirely. They don't just classify existing information, they create brand new data that looks remarkably like the original training set. From photorealistic images to sophisticated prose, these systems are redefining the boundaries between human and machine creativity. We shall examine how these models learn the underlying patterns of our world to synthesize content that has never existed before. It is not merely about mimicry, it is about understanding the statistical essence of reality to build something entirely fresh. To truly grasp generative AI, one must understand its opposite, the discriminative model. Imagine you have a basket of fruit. A discriminative model acts like a sorter. It looks at a piece of fruit and decides, based on its features, whether it is an apple or an orange. It maps input data to labels. In contrast, a generative model learns what an apple actually is. It studies the curves, the colors, and the textures so deeply that it can draw a completely new apple from scratch. Mathematically, while discriminative models focus on the boundary between classes, generative models focus on the distribution of the classes themselves. This fundamental shift from sorting to creating is what fuels the current AI revolution. How does a machine navigate the infinite possibilities of creation? It uses a concept called latent space. Think of this as a multi-dimensional map where similar items are clustered together. If we were mapping faces, one dimension might represent hair length, while another represents the width of the smile. By moving through this mathematical space, the model can interpolate between points. If you stand between the point for man and royal in the space, the model synthesizes king. This compressed representation of data allows the model to understand the core features of its training set without simply memorizing it. It is within these hidden dimensions that the magic of generation truly happens. One of the earlier breakthroughs in generative modeling was the variational autoencoder, or VAE. This architecture consists of two main parts, an encoder and a decoder. The encoder takes an input, say a photo of a cat, and squashes it down into a bottleneck of essential information. This is the latent representation we discussed. The decoder then takes this compressed code and attempts to reconstruct the original image. The variational part is crucial. It ensures the latent space is continuous and structured, allowing us to sample random points and generate brand new, realistic outputs. VAEs are particularly prized for their stability and are widely used in signal processing and basic image generation. In 2014, Ian Goodfellow introduced the Generative Adversarial Network, or GAN, and it changed everything. Imagine an art forger and a detective. The generator, the forger, tries to create fake paintings, while the discriminator, the detective, tries to spot the fakes. They are locked in a constant battle. As the detective gets better at spotting frauds, the forger must get better at creating them. Eventually, the forger, the generator, becomes so skilled that the detective can no longer tell the difference between the fake and the real masterpiece. This adversarial process produces incredibly high-fidelity results, particularly in the realm of deepfakes and high-resolution synthetic imagery. The current state-of-the-art in image generation, used by tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, is the diffusion model. This process is fascinatingly counterintuitive. During training, the model takes a clear image and slowly adds Gaussian noise until it is nothing but static, a process called forward diffusion. The model then learns the reverse process, how to remove that noise step by step to recover the original image. When you give it a prompt today, the model starts with a canvas of pure random noise and hallucinates a structure out of the chaos, iteratively refining it until a clear, high-definition image emerges. It is like carving a statue out of a block of marble, but the marble is made of digital static. While GANs and diffusion rule the visual world, transformers are the kings of text. Introduced by Google in 2017 with the paper "Attention is All You Need," this architecture allows models to process sequences of data in parallel rather than one word at a time. The attention mechanism is the secret sauce. It allows the model to weigh the importance of different words in a sentence regardless of their distance. In the sentence, "The bank was closed because of the flood," the model knows bank refers to a building, not a river edge, by attending to the word closed. This contextual awareness is what makes large language models like GPT-4 feel so eerily human in their understanding. Generating high-quality content requires immense resources. Modern models are trained on petabytes of data, essentially the entire public internet, and feature billions of parameters. For instance, GPT-3 famously utilized 175 billion parameters. This training happens on massive clusters of GPUs, running for months and consuming significant amounts of electricity. The scaling laws of AI suggest that as we increase the amount of data and the number of parameters, the model's performance continues to improve, often leading to emergent abilities, tasks the model was never explicitly trained to do, such as coding or basic logical reasoning, which appear only after a certain size threshold is crossed. Generative models are not without their flaws. Because they are probabilistic, meaning they predict the next likely word or pixel, they can sometimes hallucinate facts that sound confident but are entirely false. Furthermore, since they are trained on human data, they can inherit and amplify cultural biases. There are also significant legal debates regarding copyright. If a model is trained on a photographer's work to generate new images in their style, who owns the output? As these tools become more prevalent, the tech community must address these hurdles through better alignment techniques, watermarking synthetic content, and ensuring diverse and fair training sets to prevent the spread of misinformation. Where do we go from here? The future is multimodal. This means models won't just specialize in text or images, they will understand and generate across all senses. We are already seeing the rise of video generation and 3D object synthesis. Imagine an AI that can read a script, design the characters, animate the scenes, and compose the musical score all at once. As generative models become more efficient, they will move from massive server farms to our local devices, enabling real-time, personalized creative partners. We are moving from a world where we search for content to one where we generate exactly what we need, precisely when we need it. The creative revolution is just getting started.